Sorry it's a little windy out here.
It's like beautiful though. Beautiful spring day. Spring!
Yay! I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your presentation, your SOS presentation at the middle school. You know, my younger daughter's at the middle school. I just wanted to hear a little bit more about it so that parents can feel really comfortable about what's going to happen.
Yeah, so every year we do the Signs of Suicide presentation at the middle school, and the students get to watch a short film, and we have a bunch of discussion and go over warning signs so the students know what to look out for in their friends if they're depressed or thinking about suicide, and we watch some short films and talk about it. And it goes over really well. The students actually enjoy the presentation even though it's kind of a downer topic.
So you don't think that middle school is too young to be broaching this topic with them?
Mm-mm. Unfortunately, suicide is the second leading cause of death for age 10 to 35. 10. And I know we think like 10, 11, that's too young, but you know, unfortunately it does happen. There are youth that do make that choice because they feel like it's the only choice they have. But if we can empower our youth and they understand the signs in themselves and in their friends and can get help before something like that happens, that would be awesome. It's only the second leading cause of death. The first is accidents. So
wow.
I know, it's really heartbreaking.
Wow. Yeah, that's really sad. I mean, definitely this whole topic is really difficult to think about. Do you think that having kids watch the video will give them ideas?
I know, that's a really common myth. Like, if the kids hear about suicide or we talk about it, they're going to have that idea if they're already depressed. I mean, in reality, they already know that's an option. Like, by the time they're 11 and 12, they know basically what suicide is, right? So it actually has the opposite effect. When you bring that up with someone you care about or your child or whoever it is you need to have that discussion with, you're letting them know that you're a safe person to have that discussion with, right? If you bring it up, it may take a weight off their shoulders because they realize, oh, I can talk to my parent or I can talk to this adult about these feelings I'm having. Or maybe then you become that safe adult for your child's friend. You know, they see the signs in their friend and their friend can't tell their parents, so they say, oh, I know, we could go to my mom, you know, because they've already had that dialogue with you. They know you're a safe person to talk to.
That's so awesome. So it's like creating just a broader safety net of an issue that's already present. So the video that you're going to show, is there explicit information in it?
No, so all of the videos actually can be viewed online if, as a parent, you're like, I want to see this before.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's basically 3 scenes, and the kids are middle-aged kids, right? And they're little skits. So basically, one student is exhibiting all the signs we're teaching the kids to look out for, like they're not sleeping, you know, they're grumpy, they're tired, they're not like showing up to soccer practice or whatever. And then the other kid reacts to that, and they actually react in a more typical way the first time, and then we talk with the kids about, you know, what could they have done different, and then they show it again and how the student can react knowing this acronym we teach them. It's ACT, so it's acknowledge, care, tell. So they learn how to acknowledge the signs and say, you know, that sounds really hard, or whatever comforting words. And that goes along with the care, reminding them that they care about them. Because, you know, when people are in that headspace, it's hard for us to understand if we've never been in that headspace.
Yeah.
But they think nobody cares. So even if you're like, well, obviously I care, I'm their best friend, I tell the kids, just remind them, I'm here for you, I love you, man, you're my buddy, I care. And then the tell part is, you know, who do you tell? And where do you start with that? You know, who are some trusted adults? And we brainstorm that too.
That is awesome. That's really awesome. So the skills then that the students will gain from this presentation are really broad.
Yeah, and it's really empowering, actually, if you think about it. Like when you asked me earlier, you know, is it okay at this age? And I mentioned that they like it. I think they like it because it's empowering. It's giving them a sense of control over, you know, their own emotions and what's going on with them, but also over helping their friends. And kids at this age, they love to help. So if they feel like they have a better understanding and idea of how to help, that's exciting to them.
Oh, yeah. Yes, the more you talk about this, it's good on so many levels, like
Yeah.
giving skills, helping people, finding trusted adults, like creating this web. Okay, so the depression screening that happens at the beginning, describe that a little bit.
Yeah, so we give them like this one paper. It comes with the curriculum, and it has maybe 10 questions on it that are yes or no. It's anonymous. They don't put their name on it.
Okay.
It has two purposes. One is we go through the screenings later, and we let the staff at the school know how many. Okay, so there's questions, right? And there's questions like, have you felt more tired than usual? Just basic stuff like that. Or they could be depressed, or they could need to eat more broccoli, is what I tell them, right? I tell them, you might mark yes on some of these. It doesn't mean you're depressed, you're growing and everything. But there are the two questions. Have you ever thought about suicide, or have you ever attempted? Those ones, if they've circled yes, we count those up. And we let the school know, hey, you have X amount of students that marked yes on here. So the staff know if they need to offer more resources.
Okay.
So those don't have names, but then we give them a half slip they do put their name on, that asks them if they need to speak with a counselor,
Great.
if they're having any of these struggles, or if someone they love is. And we give those to the counselors right after the presentation. So there's usually a handful every presentation, and some of them are students that the counselors already know about.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like, I'm sad about XYZ. It's a whole variety of things that they want to talk about. So.
That's great. So then they get some information, they get some skills, they get immediate access to counseling if they need it, or if they think someone else needs it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling really good about this presentation.
Good, you should.
And okay, so you said that parents, we can view it online, so that
Yeah.
we'll know what to talk to our kids about
Yeah.
when they come home. And do you suggest that we do that?
Absolutely. I mean, even if your student might be one of those students that comes home and's like, oh my gosh, Mom, we learned about suicide today, and this is what the presentation was like. But there's also those students that you're like, what'd you do today? And they're like, I don't know. What'd you have for lunch? I don't know. So it's a great idea if you engage and have the conversation, but I know that could be intimidating. So you can go to SOSsignsofsuicide.com/parent and watch the videos, and there's actually a whole tab for parent resources. You could call or text me. I mean, people can always reach out. You can reach out to me if you want to, like, I don't know, hash out your dialogue, or I mean, don't bombard them the minute they walk in, but maybe when they get home you go take the dogs for a walk, or maybe you have like a homework check-in and that's your opportunity, or maybe after dinner when you guys have downtime, you definitely want to just kind of find an opportunity to bring it up and not just as soon as they walk in the door. So yeah, any of those things.
Okay. I'm a little nervous about talking to her, so I'm really definitely going to look at these resources. And I love the fact that I could call you. That's awesome. Because this is so important for our kids to learn. So I'm so happy that you're going to be there today.
It is.
Next week.
And, it actually corresponds, well, not corresponds, I don't know what the word is. Live Violence Free goes in and does their violence prevention education. The school has other, like, bullying presentations and, like, social media stuff. Like, they all have similar messages, So these kids are hearing, one message I know that they hear over and over is tell someone.
Yeah.
Tell someone. So whether it has to do with, sexual assault through Live Violence Free, whether it has to do with depression and suicide through my presentation, or bullying, or drug stuff, I mean, they get this message to tell someone, and hopefully all these presentations help empower them so they have the knowledge to know what to do.
That's a great way to put it, because this is a time when developmentally they're really figuring out, who am I, what do I do? So having those resources and remembering that there are trusted adults around you, I think that this is a time when so many kids are like, it's me and my friends, there's no one else. But we are still in their lives, and I think that that's important for them to remember.
And if they tell an adult and they don't get the reaction they were hoping for, to tell another adult. Like, don't, because they could be discouraged. Like, well, I told so-and-so and they didn't do anything.
Right.
Okay, well, rethink who your adults are, or go to a friend, maybe their parent or something, and tell somebody else. Because somebody will help you, whatever the issue is, right?
Yeah, I hope so. That's the ideal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I hope that you have a good time doing this. I know how much you enjoy doing it.
I do, and like I said, the kids actually enjoy the presentation. So we'll be presenting to the whole 6th grade at South Tahoe Middle School next week. So if you have questions, I'm just letting people know. They can reach out to me. They can reach out to Nicole Zunino at the middle school, and they can go to that website.